Hello.
Hello. Out for another walk with Rocky.
As always, you guys probably think that's all we do, but
Well,
I tell you, we don't.
yeah, we eat too. Today we made mac and cheese
With
with
homemade
bacon.
bacon mac.
But this morning I had my workshop, which I talked about, and I also picked some flowers. Maybe I'll put that in this video. But I had a workshop with 7 lovely ladies, and it was the first time I gave that in person and in German. Usually I work with that program one to one and coaching sessions, and so that was a first for me. And the girls were pretty cool and amazing, and I was a little nervous, but when I started, I was really in my element, and I wrote down a lot of stuff, but I realized quickly I don't have to write it down. It's all up there, so it worked out fine.
So it's nice that you basically were able to go on autopilot since it was all up in your head, right? Or did you feel nervous at all?
I felt like a tiny bit nervous, just not really nervous even, because it was the first time that I used this program in a group. It was a little bit like, how's it gonna work in a group? Because it is very personal. So the program basically consists of 4 pillars that you go through. You can use it when you set a goal for yourself, like, or if you're trying to change something in your life, you can use this program to get lots of clarity. And the basis for that is simply that we all have part of our brain that's very primitive. The only function of that old part of our brain is to protect our physical body. It's the brain, we all have that part, the old part of our brain, the primitive brain, and it comes from the times when we, lived uh,
Back in the Stone Age.
in the Stone Age, yeah, when the only things we did was find food and making sure you were not food. So the only function of that part of your brain is to protect your physical body. So whenever we go into something new, that brain gets activated and says, "Ooh, this is unfamiliar, so this could be dangerous." And this brain creates blockages for us in the subconscious level. With these pillars that I put into my program, you go through the situation that you want to create and you make it very clear for your brain. You basically put light in all the dark corners, and through journaling and visualization, which is journaling is a big part of this program, you become more familiar with this new situation, or to make your brain more familiar with it. And that releases the blockages that are created in the subconscious mind, in the subconscious mind, in order to protect you from danger, potential danger.
Mm-hmm.
So that's kind of the basis of the program. So today we went through the theory behind it, and in short what I just explained, but a little bit more in detail. And then we went through 2 pillars of the program. The first one is beliefs, and the second one is your vision. And then the third and the fourth one we'll do in 2 weeks in our second part of the workshop, which is purpose and strategy or action plan. So it was interesting to do it in a group because it's, like I said, it's very private, very individual what you're working on. And but I think it was pretty good. We talked a lot. I saw the girls taking a lot of notes, and so that tells me that they did find some good value in it, which is of course is nice.
Mm-hmm.
We did some visualization, We did two different ones. One was about financial freedom. I just showed them how to put themselves into the feeling of already having it. Has to do with manifesting, yes, but also to show your brain that what you want is familiar to you. And as soon as the blockages are released, you see more opportunities for yourself. And the second one we did was about important relationships in our life and how to feel the love within yourself. And when we did that portion, and I don't know, unfortunately, I was gonna say, but I guess not. Unfortunately, almost all of the girls started crying and got emotional, which, after the fact, they told me is, of course, shows that it did touch them deeply, and we did achieve the feeling of love within them. So that was really cool to see. Not because they were crying, but because we did go that deep. So it was really fun. It was fun to organize it, and I tried to make it a nice setting with the flowers that I picked in the field, and some snacks to eat, and we had tea and coffee, and it was just a nice setting. I think everybody liked it. We had the soft music playing in the background. So
Now today was only part one, right?
yeah, part one, and then part two. I was already thinking about that because part two we don't need to do all the theory that we did this time, because I explained the concepts behind it and how it came to be based on my own examples out of my life, because the program came about after my own issues or my own transformations in life and changes that I was faced with that I needed to work through. And I just used journaling and these questions to get myself clear on where I want to go. Like when I switched my job of 10 years and left and started looking for something different. And eventually I started to see that it works for me, that what I write down actually comes to be. And I started using it for all kinds of different things. And so it was nice to be able to tell the girls, and I mean, a lot of them know me privately, so they know that what I'm telling is the truth. So it was nice to just show examples from my own life, so they know it's not something I just read in a book, but something I've used in my life, and that of course gives you kind of credibility and stuff.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking about the next one, because we only have two more pillars to go through, but we all also kind of got a couple things that said, okay, one girl said, I'm gonna do this for me. Like everybody took something where they said the next 2 weeks I want to try and do this to improve my life. And after writing things down, this came clear that they need to change something there, and they decided this is the small steps they want to take to change it. So next time when we meet, we will talk about what has happened, what have they done, how did that work for them. And but I'm trying to think how to fill the rest of the time. And we were talking today about Reiki sessions that I give, so I was thinking about maybe telling them to bring yoga mats with them, so that I'm gonna lay them down at the end of the workshop, and we can kind of release all the energy and get quiet into a meditative state.
Yeah.
I think that could be a nice end to our.
Maybe you can also do like a feedback session of how they felt, how it went, what if they learned anything more about themselves or whatnot.
We did that today, actually.
Oh, okay.
After we finished, we also talked about what did I take with me today, what was sort of my aha moment, and how that worked for me.
Very cool. All right, we'll be back.
But it was fun. The workshop was fun. I did feel exhausted after.
I bet.
There was a lot of emotions and it's work. But I do enjoy that kind of stuff, so I
Well,
wouldn't mind doing it again.
with you doing this, you did this course with them today or workshop. Because as you're presenting everything, that also has to kind of trigger internal things with you, how you found these questions and make you kind of go through it all again, right?
Not really. I mean, I wasn't triggered by it, but there
Well,
was,
not triggered. I mean, it's got to
yeah,
bring it up.
yeah. Well, I mean, it's just a lot of input and work. Your brain works
Yeah,
hard, and then I try to, of course, listen to what they need exactly right now, so that I didn't stick to the script necessarily. I tried to listen what they need, and then we talked about those topics so that I make it very individual for them. Um, I think it worked out pretty good in the group setting.
that's good.
Obviously, you can't go as deep as when you do it one to one because, first of all, you don't always want to say everything in front of the group. It's
No, because
very private.
not only that, you also have to be careful that you can't have somebody on the brink of a breakdown in front of a group of people.
Yeah, obviously. We didn't, I think we chose mostly somewhat simple topics, so it was okay.
That's good.
Because it was about practicing and learning the tools more than uh, finishing one of the goals or anything like that. It was more about learning how to use them. But I mean, a lot of did come through for them. It was like
That's
your
good.
beliefs about the situation. We talked about that. Beliefs are basically like glasses through which you see the world.
Mm-hmm.
And if you want some sort of change in your life, you never sit down and think, what are my actual beliefs about it? What do I believe about that? Nobody sits down
No.
and does that. But a lot of the beliefs that we have form in the first 7 years of our life, which is when everything is unfiltered. And those, I mean, obviously we build other beliefs later on in life, but those beliefs that we build while we're young become mostly our subconscious beliefs
Yeah.
that we don't really consciously are aware of.
Right.
So when you sit down and start working on your beliefs, for some of the girls it was very hard because you never ask yourself that question. But it's so important because if you believe that money makes people bad, but then you try to get more money to earn more money, that is subconscious belief that will always block you.
Yep.
And sometimes we take it from our parents or you know kindergarten, whatever school,
Right.
but we're not aware of them. So it is important to sit down and go through. And in that
But
portion, we work through empowering belief, disempowering beliefs, and then we rewrite disempowering beliefs into transformative statements. What those transformative statements do for you then, when you think about your goal and a disempowering belief comes up, like, yeah, but I will never achieve that or something.
mm-hmm.
But you have an answer to that as a transformative statement, like, other people achieve it, why shouldn't I, or something. You have an answer to that thought when it comes up.
Yeah.
So for your brain, it's very clear. There's an answer there. You know it.
Right.
So you can give it right away when that comes up. So that makes such a difference. But you have to sit down and really dig deep. What beliefs do I have? Maybe even from childhood.
Yeah, but that's also how you were saying a lot of that starts in the first 7 years of our life. Do you think that culture, like our cultures, play a big point in that?
Of course, of course. It all depends, like what culture you live in and what expectations are there from people around you, from
Yeah.
your culture, your friends, everything. I mean, everything builds your beliefs. Later on in life, we also build beliefs. Like if you go into a big city and something bad happens, and you say, okay, big city is dangerous. you say big city is dangerous and you never go back, that's a belief that becomes stronger and stronger because you had that experience and you never went back. If you experience something bad and then you go back and again, then you learn that it was a one thing and generally the city is maybe safe.
Yeah.
So you build those beliefs based on what you do with the fear, what you do if you're able to go over that. So those are beliefs that are built later in life, and but even those beliefs, we don't sit down and work through them. We don't always know that they're there even.
Yeah, I was gonna say it just becomes a part of our internal subconscious where it
Yeah.
just we don't even know that we're internalizing situations or things. It just happens automatically.
But what also is interesting, people think between 60 and 70,000 thoughts a day.
That's crazy.
Of course, we don't consciously experience every thought that we think.
No.
They're just there, they're in the background, and they go through very quickly. That's why journaling is such a great tool. You sit down and you start writing on the topic, and it focuses your thoughts into that direction. So you slow down your brain, you can focus everything you write about, and that creates a whole different kind of experience. And that's why beliefs are also such a good beliefs. Journaling is such a good tool to use when you work on yourself, when you want to do some deep work on yourself.
Yeah, journaling is definitely at that is for a lot of people, in a lot of situations. A piece of paper can end up turning into a form of therapy.
It is, definitely. Well, even if you think about your beliefs, you can sit down and think about your beliefs. It is a completely different game when you start writing them down.
Yeah,
Because you think about one belief and then it disappears somewhere in the background and you forgot about it already. When you wrote it down, you have it on paper and then you can continue going deeper. When you just think about it, because we have so many thoughts that go through our mind, it's impossible to go deep because it just goes too quick. But when you journal, you put them down on paper, you slow down your brain waves, and it helps you focus. And also, it helps your brain to take it in more. It creates clarity for your brain. It takes away that unfamiliar. And what it does is, it takes away that unfamiliar and releases blockages. That's basically the magic behind it. The wood's gotten really, really green. Look at how thick and green it gotten.
yeah, it is
Yeah,
crazy.
yeah. It's so peaceful, and the birds are so loud.
There's the infamous forest doggo.
Yeah. Rocky, are you going for a walk?
Actually, we call forest doggos, we call deer forest
You
doggos. I call them that.
your forest doggo. And now it kind of became our name for it.
Yeah. It's
So loud.
yeah, but it's perfect. This is a perfect setting for the conversation we were just having because it's serene, real. It takes you back to
Yeah.
internal things.
The other day we went for a walk with my mom and Rocky, and we went into the woods. It's like in the morning. It was a little bit warmer than today. Went into the woods and we exercised there. We put Rocky around the tree and just exercised. That was awesome. Just hear the birds twitching and we doing some exercising. And when we came home, Mom said, "Oh, I feel so good after this. We're full of energy." We don't do that often enough.
No.
Yes, the opportunity is there.
Yeah, we're surrounded by it.
Thanks to Rocky, he takes us out for a walk every now and then.
Yeah, that's it. We don't take him for walks; he takes us.
Well, yeah, pretty much.
As you see, he's leading the way. He knows where he's going.
Yeah, he's like, I'll show you guys. Oh, yeah, we'll see. I'll see how the second part of the workshop goes, and they seem to all be pleased, so we'll be good. And then maybe I'll also again sometime.
Absolutely. I mean, this is something that you've been, I mean, it's safe to say this has been a goal of yours for several years.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, this program, it works completely different when you're one-to-one. Obviously, you can be a lot more personal and go a lot deeper, but in the group setting, the positive is you can hear from other people, you can hear their experiences, so you know you're not alone with your problems or issues or whatever.
Right.
You know, you hear tips from other people, what they're doing, and that helps. That's why group workshops are amazing, because they give you a whole different kind of atmosphere.
Plus, it could help. I mean, doing a group setting could eventually help lead to more individual.
Yeah, but obviously, but the goal was just to share tools with them.
That's cool. That sounds like mission accomplished.
Yeah.
That's the main thing. As long as they're all happy, feel like they came away with something, and you did, then that's.
And now I know what works. I know what works a little bit less, but mostly self work. And then I got to rest a little bit and got up and made mac and cheese. That was good too. One good tip that I can maybe give our viewers, there was all the girls there have kids. Some of them are younger, ours are older, but some of them are younger. And one mom said, you know, you work all day, you come home, and you know your child needs some time with you, but sometimes it's so hard because there's so many things to do, and I just always feel bad because I can't give, like, I want to give him time, but the quality time every day is difficult. And so one tip we came up with today is come home, put everything aside, put away your phone, take your kid and give it 20 minutes of absolute quality time where you focus only on your kid. And that 20 minutes will give him way more than if you try to do it in between.
It sounds like a loaded gun.
Why?
Well, no, I'm joking. That's
I don't know what you mean.
Having quality time with your kid is obviously a wonderful thing so to do. However, we got a couple that are very opinionated. If you just let them go for 20 minutes, whoa.
Yeah, but you know, taking the time to really
I know, I'm kidding.
spend with your child gives them that feeling that you're there for them, and you take away from it that you did something with your child, you gave it all your attention, and yeah, we can do this.
Okay.
All your attention, and then you have less, you know, bad feeling or whatever.
Yeah. No, I mean, that's something. Maybe not 20 minutes. I don't make myself take 20 minutes, but I do try to. I don't even really try. It just kind of happens. I do spend some time with the kids. We talk about stuff,
Oh yeah.
different things.
Well, our kids are also older. I mean, when the kids are little, you sit down, you play with them. When kids are older, you sit down, you talk, or you go somewhere with them. It's different,
Yeah.
different way of quality time. But they need it just as much. They need it just as much.
Yeah, definitely.
And another good tool that we came up with today was before you go out into the world, take 2 minutes. Write down your intention for the day, one thing you're thankful for, and it could be something that's coming up today, like you are being grateful for it going well already in advance. So it's kind of setting yourself up for that. And then you do 1 minute visualization. Like, how do I want to feel today? Maybe you connect with the feeling of being just peaceful and relaxed no matter what comes your way. Then you connect to that emotion. Then when you go out there, you will meet the world with completely different way than if you just run out there all crazy stressed in the morning. And it's only 2 minutes, so everybody can find that time. Because our brain reads emotions. When you feel an emotion, hormones are being produced in your body, and the brain reads these hormones. So when you produce that emotion of peacefulness and quietness, you go out with kind of that feeling, and your brain knows that's what you're feeling. This sets the tone for the day, sort of.
Yeah. Definitely good tips.
Where are we going now?
I think we got a little turned around. We took a path that we normally don't, and this is what the kids use for mountain bikes. Built like ramps and stuff in the middle of the woods. So we got to turn around and figure it out. But I think with that being said, let me catch up to Mila because we'll close this video out. So thanks for listening to us.
Thanks for watching. I hope you found it interesting.
And please give it a like. Just give it a like. Help YouTube push us on as many people as we can. And if you already haven't subscribed, go ahead and do that as well.
Yeah. Thank you for watching. Share, like, subscribe. We appreciate your time with us. And we'll see you soon again.
We'll catch you in the next one.